Interactive, your portal to the world. 630chad.com.
The Brick is giving away a house full of furniture, plus the house to put it in. You can win it all, and 630 Chad holds the key. It's the Brick Win It All Home Giveaway. You get a lot in Lewis Estates. You get a house built by Reed Built Homes. You get the furniture to fill it from the Brick. How do you win? Read, watch, and listen. Read the Edmonton Journal. Watch ITV First News and listen to 630 Chad. The words are the key. You can win a key to your dreams. 8 finalists win a Sony Vega television valued at $1,000. Pick up your entry forms at the Golden Brick in West Edmonton Mall, any Northern Alberta Brick location, any rebuilt show home, Lewis Estates, and in the Edmonton Journal. 630 Chad holds the key to your dream home. The Brick Win It All Home Giveaway. Brought to you by the Edmonton Journal, ITV First News, West Edmonton Mall, Lewis Estates, Rebuilt Homes, and 630 Chad.
Why didn't you go to National Car Rental?
Mom, I'm sorry.
But National Car Rental is so fast.
I didn't mean to take so long.
With cars from $23.95 a day with unlimited Ks and 500 Canadian plus points.
What do you want me to say?
You could have just called 1-800-CAR-RENT. Who knew if you were coming back?
I wasn't gone that long.
Are you kidding? I even tied a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree.
That would be a birch tree.
Oh, so now you're a tree expert.
Arborist.
Go to your room.
National Car Rental. Green means go, and go means fast. Offered participating locations. Some restrictions apply.
You already know the Sidetrack Cafe has the best live music 7 nights a week, but they also serve up breakfast and lunch. Enjoy any meal of the day at the Sidetrack Cafe. You get going bright and early, and so does the Sidetrack, complete with a friendly staff and a relaxed atmosphere. For breakfast, try one of 3 great-tasting variations of Eggs Benedict, the Mexican Scramble, or home-style waffles. At lunch, sample the full menu or get the Daily Soup and Sandwich Special. Any meal is better at the Sidetrack, 112th Street, just south of 104th Avenue.
If it's news to you, we want to share it. The 630 Chad Good News Durango, courtesy of Great West Chrysler Jeep, is on the road bringing you the brighter side of the news. Just fax us information on your good news story or event. We could send the Good News Durango to cover it live. Just fax us today at 469-5937. We're on the road with the 630 Chad Good News Durango, courtesy of Great West Chrysler Jeep, and made possible by Jamin Master Builder in Canadian Tire.
This special Father Day edition of One Family at a Time has been pre-recorded. Please do not call in. Here's your host, Lori Runzer, on 630 Chad, Alberta's information superstation.
Welcome back, and you're joining us as we're talking about the book Once Upon a Lifetime with its author, Patricia Williams. Patricia, we're talking all the time about building relationship, about having a family that wants to be a family, about commitment and writing a mission statement that would be a drawing card that would bring us back together. When I think about the power of a book like this, I would see this as a tool, as a way to bring back perhaps relationships that have been fragmented or have been let drift for too long. Have you got any stories or any feedback from anybody that has been along that line?
I've received a lot of stories, and they're very, very heartwarming because, as you said, there's a lot of people that look at it and say, well, I have nothing to say. I don't want to open the pain of the past. However, there's one specific one that does stick in my mind also, and that is from a lady that said that the questions in my book triggered emotions in her mother that for years she has never expressed. She says it has inspired my mother to attempt contacting a son whom she put up for adoption over 41 years ago. And it has enabled us to open up the communication lines. We have sat around for hours sharing memories of her past. And she said to me, thank you for producing such a treasure. And those are the comments that just touch my heart. And you know that anything is possible and in life if you want it bad enough.
That inspiration alone is enough to keep you personally running non-stop when you know that your book is making a difference.
That's right. And even for myself personally, I made a discovery in my own personal life 5 years ago, it was rather painful and joyous at the same time. And I was very happy that I did have this discovery, because I've been able to work through it now before something happens to family members that, that they pass on, and I wasn't aware of these particular issues, and I've healed from it. It's been a wonderful experience for me, because now I realize also that it was my destiny to write the book, and maybe that's how I found out everything. And so I'm a personal example of the power of healing through writing your stories.
The power of healing, but also the power of looking that things happen for a reason as a part of a bigger plan.
Definitely.
And that we may not know what that plan is.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
It sounds like you went through a large chunk of your life not knowing certain issues. And all of a sudden to have something expose itself and you to have to deal with it.
Yes, and at this particular time.
Right.
Yes, and it doesn't mean to say that what you find out is going to be good news. It doesn't matter as long as you know, and I think it then you can look in the past and say, now I know why this happened, and it solves issues. It really resolves issues, and that's the important part that I would say to your listeners. No matter what trauma you've gone through in the past, just approaching those issues and getting to the core of where it all happens, and then working through it, it just frees you. It really frees you for the positive things in life.
So you're talking the skills and the tools that we're trying to teach here are the very same skills and tools that within the context of these questions would bring healing.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
I'm looking at one of the letters that was sent to you, and if I can just read it, I think it would be very meaningful. It's a woman in Vancouver that purchased the book for her father last Christmas. He balked at the idea of filling out a bunch of questions about his life. I hounded him to do it for a few months. He said he'd done the first page in January and the second page in February, but was having a hard time getting into it. He isn't one to talk about himself or his life, but I knew he had had a very adventurous and challenging life, and I had always wanted to know more about it. He had never shown us any photo albums, has no family, and wanted to leave the past behind. There's that statement again. I stopped bugging him about the book a few months ago. 3 weeks ago, he died in his home of a sudden heart attack. He was 81 years old. As my sister and I were going through his things, on his desk, under a big pile of books and papers, was the Book of Questions, Once Upon a Lifetime. I noticed that he had not only filled in the first 2 pages, but every page of the book. He had answered all 1,001 questions, if not with an answer, at least with an NA. I told the story of the book at his memorial service and quoted from it. People told me how moving it was to hear about his life and to have quotes from the book. I've had at least 15 people ask me where to get a copy so they can give it to their parents. Thank you so very much. That truly is, through the book, she got a picture of who her father really was.
Definitely, and this lady has called me a couple times since that testimonial, saying that she actually quit work and has been writing a book about her father now.
And she has the actual materials and can do it all.
For sure. And that's what inspired me also to work on a computer version of my book with 10,000 questions to choose from. I mean, it sounds overwhelming, but not really when you look at the different sections that apply to your life. And, I mean, there's areas on ethics, morals, values, attitudes, skills, technologies, last wishes, letters to your mate, letters to yourself, and favorites, big area in sports, and of course the men just love the areas to do with vehicles.
Absolutely.
And motorbikes.
Well, just look at our own families. I think of our Uncle Walter and how he started with horses and has ended up his farming career with incredibly huge equipment and doing it. So many changes in one lifetime.
Well, that's right. And of course we have Father's Day today. And you can look at questions that you can talk to your father about. Say, what qualities does your father have that make you so very proud? Another question, in what way are you similar to your father?
Oh, those are getting to the heart.
And they really get to the heart. And again, what has been the most important thing you have learned from your father? I mean, there's just lots and lots of questions like that, you know, as you think about them, it just triggers more and more of the emotional response. And once you start talking to a parent, it's amazing how they love to talk, how many people are taking the time to sit and talk to seniors, or, you know, let's say between your mate. I mean, look at the age factor. Sit with your mate with these questions, and you'll be surprised at what you really don't know about each other.
Well, I think that's the reality, is that as marriages start together and they start with this emphasis on all of the things that we have to do, there comes a point in the marriage where we either have to invest in getting to know the other person at a deeper level, choosing to love, choosing to learn, and choosing to spend time in getting to know them, or our paths start to separate. And when I think of the power of having a guidepost, not only in terms of skills, but to also have a guidepost in terms of some things that you can do together that would trigger deeper conversation.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, when you look at the divorce rate being 50%.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you could, let's say, have a date night or an evening where you sit down, you either talk to your mate or else you sit down with your children and have a discussion about these things. And my slogan for this year is Memories for the Millennium, which really fits in. You know, take on a project, and you don't have to be overwhelmed by it. Just take one bite at a time. And for those listeners that are in the French audience too, there's a French version also. And a website. You know, I've got a website too that they can check out and everything on that.
Great. I guess when I look at it, I think, you know, we really are in an era that if we even looked at all of the society's problems and all of the issues, we would too become very overwhelmed. But instead, we're able to step back and say, what can I do in my own home? How can I sweep in front of my own doorstep so that I can make this world a better place, a cleaner place, a sweeter place to be? What can I do one family at a time? Instead of looking at the overwhelming societal issues, if we could just look within our own homes, and that would be so much facilitated with having some guidelines as to where to go. You know, there's so many things out there right now, so many events that are happening this summer that are just making it possible for us to be able to start thinking. This show is completely triggered with the passion and vision of a woman from Manville, and I'm going to be able to share some of that information with you. And just stay with us. It is exciting to see the power of bringing stories of a lifetime into a family. And we're going to do that one family at a time. This is Lori Runzer on 630 CHED.
Big sports.